studied in the book of James, and God through James is showing us how to be transformed from this world. He's showing us how to establish the kingdom culture, that attitude, that mindset, that way of living that will establish a replica of his kingdom here on earth. And as we are learning, it's requiring us to give things new meaning. Things that used to mean this don't mean that anymore. Suffering don't mean now what it used to mean before we gave our life to the Lord. Being ridiculed and misunderstood doesn't mean the same as it used to mean before we gave our life to the Lord. It now means that God has chosen you, and his Spirit dwells within you. And it has made you a mortal enemy of those who still choose to live according to the world's way. They're just symptoms to let you know whether things are going well or whether things are going haywire. People talking well of you in the world today doesn't mean the same now that you're a child of God. God said, be careful when the people of the world that choose to live the way the world lives, be careful when they start to talk well of you. When the people of the world start to talk well of you, because it's a sign that they see you as a false teacher. It's a sign that they see you as their friend. God said, beware of these things. And as we've been talking over the last week, we've been talking about planning, How are we planning? What are we planning for? And we learned that planning in the kingdom of heaven doesn't look the same as planning in the world. And through that process, God told us what planning in the kingdom is supposed to look like. And understanding that that's the generation we need to produce. A generation that thinks like that lives like that. Because if we don't understand that, a message such as that will cause us to condemn ourselves. Will cause us to try to make decisions that we are not in a position to handle making a decision. It's like cutting off your nose to spite your face. And I want to remind us of that we must constantly ask ourselves with that knowledge, what am I preparing for? Will the people that I influence, will they be moving closer to this type of mindset? Or will they still remain where I am? Or still on the course of this world? Because we can't do much about where we are, but we can do something about how we move forward, which is simply a decision. What do I really want to be about as I move forward in this life? What type of mindset would I have to even see that as a valuable thing to be doing based on where I am? What changes would need to be made in my thinking, in my behavior to accomplish such a task? We're going to be coming from James chapter 5, verses 1 through 6. And what we're going to be talking about today is professing believers who serve money. Professing believers who serve money. This section of scriptures talks about believers who are rich, professing believers who are rich. It says they live their life to be rich and live luxurious lives through all that the world offers. I guess the question would be, what is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? The answer depends on which philosophy you follow. Do you follow the world's philosophy or the philosophy of the kingdom of heaven? Philosophy is your beliefs on what is right and what is acceptable when it comes to trying to establish the quality of life you want to live. What philosophy are you using as you look at your life, as you look about moving forward, as you look at the things that you want in life? What philosophy are you using? That can be easily distinguished because it's distinguished by the things that you do to accomplish it and the mindset and character that you use in making it so. This is the one thing I know. God gave this world to mankind to establish his kingdom here. Man instead messed this world up. Hear what I said? This whole Bible is about man's failure to accomplish God's will, the consequences behind it, and the sacrifice that God has made to put man back in a position so that he can fix the mess that he's made here on earth, not God. In that process, God has provided all the resources, power, whatever you will need to make it so. The question becomes, what are you doing with it? What are you trying to accomplish? James chapter 5 verse 1 says, "Come now, you rich, weep and howl for your miseries which are coming upon you. Your riches have rotted and your garments have become moth-eaten. Your gold and your silver have rusted, and their rust will be a witness against you and will consume your flesh like fire. It is in the last days that you have stored up your treasure. Behold, the pay of the laborers who mowed your fields and which has been withheld by you cries out against you, and the outcry of those who did the harvesting has reached the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. You have lived lusciously on the earth and led a life of wanton pleasure. You have fattened your hearts in a day of slaughter. You have condemned and put to death the righteous man. He does not resist you." Let the church say, amen. Amen. See, God never planned it for the world to be in the condition that it's in. And one thing you have to understand about this world, people that truly understand, they don't care what kind of title you hold. They don't care what kind of position you hold. They don't care who likes you. What they care about is one thing and one thing only: who controls the resources. If you look at our society over time, access to resources when I grew up was spread across all different sections of life. As man in his effort to be rich and to be in control, he has constantly figured out plans and ideas of how to control more and more of the resources. In that attempt, one of the greatest resources we have is food. And so man over time has figured out how to control the food source. One of the problems in man's pursuit of his wealth is he has created an unhealthy society. And in that he saw the need to control the resource of health. You remember when the HMOs came about? You have people now running your health system that don't know nothing about doctoring. They're only concerned about the bottom line. Therefore, our health care services have fallen to the wayside. Our food resources are constantly being challenged, even though there's no lack of food. There's no shortage of food. We have food stored away. The government pays people not to plant crops. If we have a shortage of food somewhere in the world, why would you be paying people to not plant crops? It's all part of the system of the wealthy, and how do I control the resources and have everybody sending it in my direction so I can get a piece of it. I don't know nothing about farming, but I need a piece of that money they make. I don't know nothing about doctoring, but I need a piece of that money that they make. And when it's all said and done, the ones that really need the resources, they have to fight, scratch, beg, and borrow at the bottom of the food chain, and they're always in competition for the resources. Let someone say it's going to snow tomorrow. You'll be reminded just how that is. There's no shortage, but man in his greed has learned how to control people because you control the people to the resources. We have to control the water. We have to control everything that they have to have. But there's no shortage. We have to create a greater demand so we can charge a greater price, but we control the supply, which would help us justify us jacking up the prices. You still have the same dirt. All right? Now you've got some genetic seeds that you've made that you might get that crop quicker, but it will kill me quicker too. All in your desire to control the resources. I know that chick takes a certain amount of time to grow on his own. But we fixed him so he can be hatched today and you can be eating him next week or a week or two later. It'll kill you, but it tastes so good. See, that's man's way of misusing the funds and the resources that God has put in place for us to fix this world. He says, come now, you rich people. Weep and howl for your miseries which are coming upon you. Your riches have rotted, and your garments have become moth-eaten. Your gold and your silver have corroded, and their corrosion will serve as a testimony against you and will consume your flesh like fire. See, God is not promoting poverty. He's not saying he don't want people to be rich. But what he wants us to know, he allows us to be rich for a purpose. And what you really need to pull on in this verse is he says, the corrosion of your silver and gold will be a testimony against you. The corrosion of it, not the having of it, but the corrosion of it. And corrosion happens, for my limited thinking, I know it's a lot of scientific methods to corrosion, air, and oxidation, but I found even with metal, if you're using it on a regular basis, keeping it dry, it won't corrode. It corrodes when it sets around, gets damp, dries, gets damp again, because it's not being used. I found the less that you use it, the more it corrodes. He said, I don't have a problem with you being rich. The fact is, you're letting it sit around. And you're not doing what you need to be doing with it for the purpose I left you here. I didn't leave you here to come out of poverty so thirsty that the only thing you can think about now is making sure you don't ever run out no more. And so afraid of losing what you have, you want to keep everybody else so weak that they can't fight against you to get yours. So you're on a mission to take everyone else that don't have their eyes open and that are aware of what's going on. He says the corrosion of your wealth is what's going to be the testimony against you. What is he saying? When you die, the amount of money you got sitting around for people to fight over is going to be a testimony against you. That you did not live this life like I left you here to live. I gave it to you to use. But what are you talking about, Pastor Palmer? Well, let's kind of bring it kind of home in our society and government and schools. In our society and school systems, I think in some of your government entities, you have programs out there. You can get money from the government to run those programs, right? But if you want to continue to get money, When that time frame has elapsed, you best not have no money left over. Because if you have money left over, Uncle Sam will say, you can't get no more. That's what God is saying. I gave it to you here to use here. Not to have it sitting back somewhere so you can sit back periodically and count out what you got and start to feel good about your so-called security, stability. He said that's going to be a testimony against you. So what we want to do, the objective of what we want to learn today is we want to identify who these people are. We want to identify who these rich people are, because he did not tell me not to be rich. I just want to know what kind of mindset I need to have when my riches materialize. I'm already rich. But just like any child, you ain't going to hand over the inheritance until you think you're ready. They think you're ready. Some families even go to the point where you ain't ready because when I die, you ain't going to die. They might give it to a neighbor down the street somewhere. We have people in here where the people have said, listen, my people ain't worthy of what I have. I'm going to adopt you as my son. You're going to be my son. I want you to get my stuff. I don't care how bad they get before I leave. I don't care they know before I leave, but they ain't doing nothing to make me want to give them nothing. God said, I'm going to give it to you just to see where you end up. So you won't say you didn't have an opportunity. Scripture says that you were dead in your offenses and sins in which you previously walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, of the spirit that is now working in the sons of disobedience. The question becomes to identify these people. This is the question you got to ask yourself. What course am I on? What course am I on? When I look at my life, when I look at my goals and objectives, when I look at the things that I do and want to do, what course does those things tell me I'm on? Because you only have two to choose from. One is the course of this world, and the other one is the course of God, the course of heaven. Do the things that you do and plan for, do they have you on a course that takes you to heaven to produce the product, which is a replica of heaven, which is a culture, a mindset, an attitude, a way of thinking, and a way of doing things? What course will you find yourself on? The scripture tells us, do not store for yourself treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, where thieves break in and steal. But store for yourselves treasure in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in or steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. What do you talk about when you're moving about each day? You talk about the nice things you want to have, and the nice places you want to go, and the nice things you want to do. After I do this for the community, after I do this for my brothers and sisters in Christ, after I do this for those who are in need, these are the things that I would like to accomplish. What plans do I have in place to help this one and to help that one? Do I have a plan in place? Not after I get rich, because God says it's when you give in your need. That's the course of the kingdom. But it tells us you can't give in your need unless you first give yourself to God. And the biggest problem that I'm finding with us as we're being transformed into the image of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, we have a problem with denying ourselves, our human nature, the things that we like, the things that we want to do. Ask yourself, why do I need more? All of you look pretty smiffy. You drive pretty nice chariots. You live quite comfortably. Why do you need more? You ever stop and ask yourself, why do I need more? Do I really need more? What would more do for you? What do you believe more will do for you? You ever thought to ask yourself, like, why do I need more? Do I really need more? If I don't get any more, will my life cease? You can't miss what you never had. Right? Some things you don't even know you like because you never had it. And you're going along just as fine. Somebody mentioned to you, you ever had whiffy? You're like, no. Come to think of it, I've never thought about whiffy. So look at the things that you don't have, that you go along with every day, that other people around you might have. What would happen if you didn't get any more? What would happen? Why do I need more? What would more accomplish for me? What would I do with more? Those are the questions we have to really ask ourselves. Because you have a bottomless pit called your human nature that is never satisfied. Think about where you are now and where you were before you got there and the things you used to say. Man, if I could just get a little bit, if I could just get my income up to such a level. You ever thought before you got there when you was making that 20 cents? You said, man, if I ever get to $1, life's going to be good. I'm going to do some things. And you got it and you did those things. And after about 90 days, what were you saying? My God. Because you sucked that dollar up so quick so that it could not do nothing else for you. You became thirstier. If I could just get it up to 2. And we done gone to the 20s, 30s, and 100, and we still say, I need a little bit more. If I could get just another raise. What would happen if I had this paid for? If I just got rid of my mortgage, man, do you know what getting rid of your mortgage would do for a person? What happened after you got rid of that mortgage? You know what? That mortgage wasn't that bad. I can take this and get me some big change to do some big things. But then after you did that, what happened? A little bit more. That didn't quite go like I thought. It did good, but it didn't go where I thought I would go. It did. It did. Your mind just stressed on you. What about this? I see this as reachable. You see it's reachable now too. Time and a little bit more. What would happen if you didn't get any more right now? God, what if God said, okay, that's it. You are cut off. You would stop where you're at and you'd be like, how can I make this better? Oh, yeah. You would get very creative. And you will be sitting around talking about how great things are. Because you know that's it. That's as far we can go. You will refuse to let your mind think about it getting any better. Especially if you have exhausted all of its possibilities. Think about that and see how don't we do that. This is the best vehicle that I can afford where I'm at. I don't need it breaking down. I don't need it doing nothing. But if it just stays healthy, we'll be good. We'll be good. And you refuse to let it break down on you. Listen, you got to keep running. What you need, let's get you a checkup. And make sure you got what you need to keep us going. I like you. I like you. And when you do those things, you didn't realize you may have to keep them for 20, 30 years. You just saw the newness of the moment. Like, wait a minute, they've been driving that car for 20 years. It's fading. Yeah. Because it was for me. It was for me. You have to decide when has me eaten enough. Time to get up from the table and go to work. Time to see you at the table. Time to see you at the table asking for more. When will there be enough? So you can get to the real business at hand. Because if you don't understand that, that will be your life business. God tells these rich people to weep and to mourn for their misery which is coming. He said, now keep in mind, they still living. We're told as long as you're living, there's hope. But God also told us, even if I had some of the greatest prophets in your era, and you continue to live for yourself, being disobedient, not following my way, there will come a time when I say that there's enough. And all of them put together praying for you won't deliver you. See, all of this stuff has to be put in its proper perspective when you talk about the grace of God, the love of God, the forgiveness of God. There comes a point in time when God said, look, time will not change you. You have made your decision to be all about you. I did not leave you here for you. I left you here to fix the mess that man has made. And I provided everything that you need to do so. God says the corrosion of their gold and silver will serve as a testimony against them and will consume their flesh like fire. Let me know that God don't play with us in our selfishness and our self-centeredness and not being about his business. Unfortunately, these rich people have hoarded everything for themselves. We're reminded of this principle in Luke 12, 16 to 21. When it talks about the wealthy farmer who had a wealthy crop. He says, wow, we've had a bumper season. We had a greater return than we ever thought. What am I going to do with all the excess wealth I have? And I know we would like to experience that, right? To sit back one day, my God, we got more wealth than we could have imagined. Think of it in the right place. Is that the right parable? Yes. He says, wow, what do we do? It depends on what course you're on. It depends on what course you're on at this point that you decide what to do. He said, he started talking to himself. I'll tell myself. I know what we'll do. I'm going to tear down the ones I have, and I'm going to build me bigger ones. Because, man, who would have thunk it? I'm going to fill these new barns up, then I'm going to sit back and tell myself, wow, you've done well. You did real good. You did real good. You know what? We got enough now. Finally, I got enough. I can kick back, relax, live a luxurious life, and travel. I got some acquaintances that I went to school with. Every time I look on Facebook, they somewhere across the world playing pickleball, climbing mountains, enjoying life. I'm going to sit back and relax and travel. Doesn't everyone want to travel? Let's go to different places. Especially when you don't like doing redos. What's new? Over the horizon. Yes, that's what we'll do, self. That's what we'll do. That sounds like a plan. A whole lot of nothing and enjoying yourself while you're doing it. Don't have to wake up at the same place every week. Yeah, that's what we'll do. And God is listening. God's response, you food. Now, who don't live for that? Let's stop before we go there. Who don't live for that? As you get certain ages in life and certain channels you look at on TV. Traveling. You know, getting that dream thing. Food. How to change this to make it look like this. You don't want that other stuff. You know, you got a picture of how you want your world to look. And you are constantly being programmed like this is what you can do. You know what? You can't buy it right now. But not down that wall right there. Put a little something over there. Open it up. Brighten it up. When people come in, they feel like they're spacious. Hit all the senses. Make the kitchen look like a place of entertainment. Make it look like a place you just want to stay and just lay back. Do that for them, and they'll be happy for a while, because then they'll figure out how to get that one they really want. Because I'm setting their mind to see things they couldn't see in this area before. This is what you deserve. You haven't been able to see this because you've been so busy. Your world won't show you what you're missing. I'm showing you what you're missing and what you can have. You deserve it. You work all the time. That's a program. And what do? You look around your house and you get depressed. You see things that you couldn't see until they showed you. Wow, you know, we've been moving around here, bumping into each other in this. Why do we need that table? Why do we need that? Let's take that out. Ooh, we got some space there. You didn't know that? You were fine. Until they told you you had a problem. Now you just can't live. I can't live in no more like this. Just can't. Can't even sleep. They told you just how bad off you are. And you thought that this is it right here. When you came, you said, this is it. We want this one. Don't settle. We want it. We want this. This is what we've been looking for. And it was. Now you're looking for what somebody else like. That they have sold you on. The enemy said we got to keep them consumed. We don't need them to stop and think that they need to be fixing the world. They need to be fixing their stuff. Let us show them how bad it is. Then they won't have time to fix the world. They're going to get to it, though, as soon as they get this done.
I know that's right.
Then they make you go look at something else.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I thought that was our next project, but man, we can't afford that. We got to do this. Those who are wealthy or have more than they need have a tendency to put their trust in their money. Scripture says the man of the Lord, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and is safe. A rich person's wealth is his strong city and like a high wall in his own imagination. Before destruction, the heart of a person is haunted, but humility goes before honor. Proverbs 18, 10 through 12. Those who are wealthy have a tendency to look down on the poor, making themselves superior in their own mind. The rich person is wise in his own eyes, but the poor, who has understanding, sees through him. Rich people say that poor people use religion to justify their laziness. waiting on the Lord. They don't have a need because they have what they want. Doesn't it feel empowering when you can do what you want to do? Don't it feel empowering when you say, what we need? Do you think you should we need it? Yeah. Is that going to fit? Yeah. Then say, go on by. Doesn't that feel empowering? I guess it depends on where you come from. So you get a big bill, like you used to be, oh my God, Lord, why are you cursing me? When you get it, say, okay, let me look at this and see how I'm going to pay it. Isn't that empowering? Nah, man, I wonder, can I go borrow some money? Who can I, what can I do? When you just look at your little piggy bank and say, let's see, okay, let's see, we can handle that. Isn't that empowering? Don't you feel a little sense of, you got me, I'm ready. I ain't got to go talking about it now. I ain't got to call and say, well, you know, I don't think I can do such and such. What can you work out for me? You don't want to make those kind of phone calls no more. You want to call and say, look, I got you. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing that makes us need more. We like to talk like that. We like to feel that way. We like to feel empowered. We like to feel self-sufficient. I don't need nobody. Oh, I got it. Refuse to let you pay for a meal. When there was times they were saying, I hope somebody take care of this bill. Man, we talked about going to those restaurants and bust up in there because we can't imagine prices being the way they are. You say to yourself, how much could it be? Because you're thinking from your limited thinking. I'm normally what? Okay, hard is 6, 7, 10. Okay, go to class, 15. Best, maybe 25. Can't be no more than 25. That's crazy. You get a bill, you go in there and you look at the menu, and a burger, $25. And these restaurants don't put the price beside the meal. Folks that come here, money is not an issue. This is part of our system. We know what we're supposed to be here about. When you start looking at it, I got linen, real linen. I got crystal silverware. Then you pay attention, look around, oh, suits and ties. And that's when they come. We're going to find out right there who they are. How much does such and such cost? There you go. You done walked up in here unbeknownst where you were going because it was pretty.
Yes.
It looked good to the sister like that. Now that's how I like to eat right there.
Yes. That's nice.
That's how I would like to eat when I go out right there.
Yes.
Yep. And today I go a little overboard. I go a little over today just for the experience. When I had no idea that they were going to take me to a whole new dimension of life. So you said, could I get a glass of water? I'm just waiting on someone. Till the time. How much is the water? $10. Oh, I think they're coming there. Let me put this $10 there. It's my ass for anything else. Yeah. You say though, one day I'm coming back. If you want that I just got some extra money for a moment, I'm coming back just to show y'all I can order off this menu. I will never return again. Not in this state. Because I know all y'all remember me. 5 years later, you know they remember you. They didn't even see you the first time you came in. Well, you're mine. That's not how I want to live life. I want to be able to go anywhere, anytime, do whatever I want to do, when I want to do it. I don't know what it is. I just want to be able to do that. And you already know you will have no clue what you're saying and what it's going to cost. But that's what drives the average human being. That sense of being able to go anywhere, anytime, with anyone. The bill. $29. $49. There you go. Remember those experiences. Don't you dare suggest. Where can we go cheap? This is what the Lord says. We want to know who these people are. Scripture says the rich person is wise in his own eyes, but the fool who has understanding sees through him. Proverbs 28:11. God wrote to us to let us know who these people are. They're professing believers. He says, to the angel of the church in Laodicea write, the Amen, the faithful and true witness, the origin of the creation of God, says this. I know your deeds, that you are neither cold nor hot. I wish that you were cold or hot. So because you are lukewarm and neither hot nor cold, I will vomit you out of my mouth. Because you say, I am rich and have become wealthy, and I have no need of anything. And you do not know that you are wretched, miserable, poor, blind, and naked. I advise you to buy from me gold refined by fire, so that you may become rich, and white garments so that you may clothe yourself, and the shame of your nakedness. And the shame of your nakedness will not be revealed. And eye salve to apply to your eyes so that you may see. That's Revelation 3:15-18. See, rich people, in this place where we say we want to go, what we're really saying is I want to go to a place where I have no need. Where I don't sit around and be concerned about bills. You want to have other things on your mind. You want to be able to put everything on automatic draft and forget about it. You don't want to be concerned. You don't have to be concerned about making sure your check deposits at the right time. You want to get away from all that sort of thing. You just want to live and be married. No need to be anywhere at any given time. These are the people, professing believers, who believe that wealth is a means of godliness. These are the people that you constantly see promoting get rich. For the very same purpose as the farmer. People like the people at the church of Laodicea, their whole objective in life is to be wealthy, famous, popular. It has been proven that it's hard for a person that has no needs to be in love with the Lord. This is why I'm constantly talking to you young people here, because you are not in a place of need. And because you're not in a place of any real need, you really don't see a need for God because nothing's wrong. You're not really motivated about anything because you have no motivation. You don't have anything that I really have to have. I like some things, but I ain't sweating. I mean, I'm good. It's been discovered that when man has a need, a pressing need, he turns to God. Pay attention. You got the floods going on, and you got the droughts going on, you got the fires going on, you got monkeypox going on, you got COVID going on, and everybody's saying God. What were you saying before COVID showed up? What were you think back to it before COVID came up? Man, economy is boom. Good Lord Almighty, man, everything I touch turned into gold. I'm going to get this and I'm going to do that. I've got things in action. I got things in motion. And everybody was happy. Everybody was happy. Because they were now feeling a sense of being able to get and do what they wanted. But then COVID came. God said, now let me shake up their world. Let me shake everything they planned up. Let me stop some dreams that just got started. Let me turn down some things that just got started. Let me show them that the things that they're putting their faith in will not give them what they want. All the money in the world could not cure you from COVID. Couldn't. And all the money that they spent is still proving you ain't beat it yet. And what they're proving is what you told them. It's too new for you to tell me you know what to do. You were testing and tuning. Call me when you're ready to get on the track. For those that need it. Trusting in the things that can't give you what everybody hopes they have. Long life. Ain't no amount of money you can spend that can give you long life. Good health. Ain't no money gonna give you good health. Functional relationships. You can have all the money in the world and it won't do nothing for your relationships. All the money in the world won't make you smart. You say, if I need money, if I got money, I don't need you smart. No, you don't. You need money to keep it. Because the people that are seeking to control the resources know how you think. And they'll give it to the people that are poor in mind, that are consumers. But it's hard for them to give that money up to an investor. Tell them you get ready to invest in something. You got a great idea. Don't tell them what the idea is. What's the idea, sir? Oh, that's horrible, Jimmy. Hey, Bob, check it out. Jimmy had his idea over here. I'm telling you, it's the bomb. Let's jump on it. I want to make sure Jimmy don't get it done. But by the time he figures it out, it'll be too late.
Yeah. That's the way.
See, we're searching for stuff that we can't even handle when we get it. That's why God, when he said you ask for it, he'll give it to you.
Yeah.
You'll go kill yourself. You'll be riding on a yacht that you don't know nothing about. Wreck, kill yourself, and everybody on there with you. You can do something on your bucket list like skydive, kill yourself, because you don't know what you're doing. Or buy yourself a plane, because you learned on YouTube how to fly. I can do it now. Let me buy my own plane. He said, I'm protecting you. Look around. Why would a man walk around with 40 pounds of gold around his neck? It's going to give him a negative back problem. You don't know that, but that's what's going to happen to him. Because he's trying to prove and show that he has arrived. How many cars do you need? How many can you drive? Because that's your emblem of success. The question is, the things that you're looking for, what does it take to fulfill you? Is it those things? God has created you with certain needs, and he gave you those needs because money will not satisfy them for you. You get the big house and find out nobody wants to come to visit you, or you don't want nobody to come visit you because they only want to come to visit you because you got a big house. When they get there, they act like they're crazy and want to tear everything up. You let everybody know you're rich now. You don't know whether she likes you or he likes you because they just like you, or they like, oh, they know I got money. See, look at him. Got a person that really likes you, but you jack it up because you got to ask all the questions. Why are you with me? See, you got to be prepared for these things before God will give them to you. And the only way he will give them to you is that you are all about using them for why he gave them to you. I gave them to you to fix this world. What are you talking about, Pastor? When you wrecked that car, when you had that smoke damage in your house, you called me over. Because we do fire and smoke restoration. And you were just talking about, oh, how awful my house was. Can you smell it? There's smoke everywhere. I can't live here. I got to call this insurance company, and they're going to pay me too. I need a professional estimate so they'll know I ain't playing. This needs to be fixed immediately. Look at it. Smoke everywhere. Can't even dress. Look at me. I got smoke all over me. You're right, Mrs. Brown. But we can fix it for you. We'll give you an estimate, and they will honor it within company policy and prices and all of that. Thank you, sir. You're such a great man. And when I get this check, I'm going to call you. Because we got to get this work done pronto. Yes, ma'am, we'll be ready. Just give us a call. Week go by, 2 weeks go by, a month go by. Miss Brown, I was checking to see, you had, yeah, we got the check, but, we looked at it again, and, it really wasn't that bad. We did a little some ourselves. But, we decided we're not going to go with the cleaning, and we're going to just, we got it. Only thing that was different, you got a check for about $8,000 to $10,000, and now your house looks fine. Oh, my finish just hanging off my car. They hit me. Look at it. I got to get my insurance payment. Get the insurance check. They still got tie tags holding it up. It don't look bad after your God show up. He fix your eyesight or something. Let's take another look at that thing, Leroy. Heck, don't get dressed here. Go dress at your aunt's house. You need this money to do some other things. Because we're about ourselves. God said, I did not give you this money to spend on yourself because I know you will. You ain't getting none. Because I know you're going to put it on yourself, I'm just going to give you enough to spend the rest of your life fixing what you got. Never being free to do nothing else you want to do but fix it. Because every time you get one thing fixed, we're going to break something else because that's all you're concerned about. I'm going to give you plenty of work to do. You're going to leave this earth with something need to be done to that space that you have. So that's all you think about, right? You're fulfilling what you say you're about. I got to take care of my stuff. And God allows you to fulfill your desires the rest of your life. God sent you food this very night. It's not going to be required of you. This brings us to our first principle. People who serve money only think of themselves and theirs. They only think of themselves and theirs. And that's Luke 12:16-21 with the rich farmer. He said, man, I'm going to sit back, live, and be merry. When he should have been thinking about, I got all this money. How many people can I help now? How can I fix this world with what God has given me? Luke 12:16-21. travel God's course for our lives, we are instructed not to store up for ourselves treasure on earth where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. But store for yourselves treasure in heaven where neither moth nor rust destroys and where neither thieves do break in or steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. He says no one can serve two masters. Either you're going to love the one and hate the other, or you're going to be devoted to the one or despise the other. As you look at your life, what are you devoted to? What does your actions show your treasure really is? And understand, we have to understand that God has called us to fix this world. We first have to know what that looks like. Then we have to ask ourselves, what kind of position am I going to need to put myself in to think like that? For that to be my number one priority. Maybe I've missed it for myself, but can I teach it to my children? Or teach it to my grandchildren? How long will it take to develop a generation that thinks like this, that thinks about kingdom building, that thinks about rebuilding what was lost? How long will it take for us to develop a generation that thinks like that? Don't get dismayed wherever you find yourself in the line. Just ask yourself, I can start now.
Yeah, that's it.
I can start putting things in place to influence somebody to think like this. And in doing that, to cause someone else to think like that, I have to start looking more like that myself. How can I start to look like this now? How can I start to be a person that's building the kingdom? What can I do now with what I know and where I am? What can I do to start developing this mindset and put things in place where I'm actively doing things that leads to building the kingdom of heaven? What can I do? Because you can do something where you are right now. No matter where you are in any given bit of knowledge and wisdom, there's a place where you can start right now. How do I need to change my thinking? What do I need to start putting more emphasis on? To show that the things of God is more important to me than the things that are important to me now. Because I wasn't in a clear understanding that the way that I was thinking and doing things went against God's reasoning for having me here. He didn't say not have wealth. He didn't say not enjoy the things you enjoy. He said, well, put my stuff first. What can I do in what I'm doing where I can rearrange some things, still do what I want to do, but just can I find one thing for God that I can put in place? Okay, I'm going to give you the head right here. I don't know. But we all have something. If we really love God and we trust His wisdom that by doing this will be more beneficial to me, both physically, spiritually, and financially, it's just an investment. It's like when you look at an investment, you say, I'm not a big investor, don't have a lot of money, but I got $1,000 that I'm going to invest in this thing, hoping for big returns. And I'm willing to lose that investment. I'm willing to wait for as long as it takes for it to pay off. What sacrifice am I willing to invest into the kingdom of heaven with the same mindset? With this principle right here of doing thus and thus, look out for the widows, look out for the orphans, You see a friend or a brother or sister in need, help them out. All of those things that he shared us that's about kingdom building. Find one, at least one, say, you know what? I'm going to be committed to this. This is going to be my first objective right here. And I'm going to be committed to this all the way through. And it's going to be number one priority. If anything has to be given up, it'll be something else, not this. Just to see. Just to practice. Just to start putting things in motion for that to happen. God told me, He says, you have lived for pleasure on the earth and lived luxuriously. You have fattened your hearts in a day of slaughter. He says, behold, the pay of the laborers who mowed your fields, which has been withheld by you, cries out against you. And the outcry of those who did the harvesting has reached the ears of the Lord of Sabbath. People who serve themselves, they don't want to pay you what you're worth. Mm-hmm. They're always trying to Jew your price down. Yep. You start a business, you go out here and work for somebody, they're like, come on, man. And because there's people because they won't pay you $5 and they can't get you to go down to 3, they'll go pay somebody else 10 rather than pay you the 5.
Yep. All day.
These are the people we're talking about.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna help them build no house. I see them got a new house. I ain't gonna help them pay for it. That's sad, but that's the mindset of people who are just about themselves. So, really ain't no real business. You need to go get a real job. That other man you called is in worse shape than he is. What makes his job a real job? You got 2 plumbers. They from 2 different persuasions.
Yeah.
Both of them poor. Neither one of them rich. And neither one of them famous. The quality of work is about the same. Vehicles look better. Matter of fact, the one you don't like, vehicles and stuff look better. Why is the one that don't look like a professional a real professional, and the one that looks like a professional and does professional work, why is he not a professional? You read all of their reviews and they say, wow, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. But they're not a real professional. They're not a real business. You got the one that you like, everybody said, stay away from him. But that's a real business. They've been here a long time. What's a long time? Flea's been here a long time. Roaches been here a long time. I think they've been here longer than anything. So you said the longer you be something, good or bad, you real. Any day that they're going to fold. These are the people that won't give you $5, but they're going to give the other guy 10. And guess what? The guy that gave 10, they got to call him back before they leave. You know they ain't got to the office yet. Man, that thing ain't working. I just got my lawnmower. I took it out here. I pulled it, and I pushed it. It cut off. Man, it won't crank. They've had it a year and a half. So they're real business. Take it up to Curtis. Curtis don't know what he's doing. He might not. But when you take it up there and fix it, you won't have to take it back unless you do something crazy. But they still are not real in the minds of those people that are selfish and self-centered and only think certain people should be successful. You've had it all around us. You would pass the local service station to go down here to the major service station. But it's the gas, the tank that pumped his gas, left there and went to his store. Pumped the same gas out of his truck into his tank. But that gas ain't no good. I was reminded when we was going to the mountains, we passed that fuel, see that big fuel play? I said, that's it right there. That's all the gas comes from. Yeah, right there. And I understand that. Some might put a little more ethanol, not ethanol, but octane and do some, but they all got the same formula. 89, if you ain't got 93, you got gas and water. Think I'm lying? Let it sit over winter. In anything. Try to crank it up the next summer. If it ain't high octane 93, 83, what's the other, 89 or whatever, you get the same junk. Hey man, I get that middle one. They know I give you 3 choices. You don't want to be the cheapest. You don't want to be the highest. You go up for the middle. From the middle down, you get the same thing. Marketing is, that's what rich people do. That's these people he's talking about right here. These are the people he's talking about. They abuse you. Remember when you get all that gas at Walmart for 50 cents? Fill your tank up before you get the water. This all half a tank. Everybody there that gets gas. I don't know what's going on. You got no octane problem. But that's what these rich people he's talking about. They're constantly looking for ways to cheat you out of your money, not to give you what you're worth. When you have people working in a store that are ashamed themselves to put the prices on products, you've got a problem, Houston. I bought these little containers and Linda was like, yeah, they're so pretty. I said, yeah, but you know, I said, man, I feel violated. I just don't feel, I feel violated with them. I said, I know what you mean. She said, I feel bad. Even when I put the price on, because, you know, they're making things smaller. They're putting less in them. But they charge me more. She said, I don't want people getting mad at me. I just got a job. And I feel bad putting the prices on there. But if this young generation, that's all they know, right? They're like,
Yep.
ooh, look, it's only what? $3? Oh, yeah. You're like, what, $3? You know that thing used to be that big?
Yeah.
Full to the top?
Yes.
Only thing gets full to the top now is water.
Yeah.
And by the time you open it, you don't waste that down to where it normally be. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Smaller.
Yep.
Paying more.
Yes.
And they're going to grow up thinking like this is normal.
Normal. Yep.
Can you imagine what their kids going to be faced with by the time the world ends? Can you imagine? Bag of chips, you got 2 chips. Wow, we got 2 chips today. My God, things are getting better. Used to be a half a chip and a whole bag of half. They're trained to think chips should only come in tubes. With small bags. See, it's all a program. By the time you get there, y'all used to this stuff you get in there, like $4 something's gonna be coming on for gas, right? Do you know how that hurts me?
Yes.
I started off, gas was 35 cents per gallon. When I graduated, gas was 35 cents per gallon. I was so happy I had a car for once. I got a car. Then they had the oil embargo. Lines from here downtown waiting on gas. And gas went up to 75 cents. I thought the world was coming to an end.
Yes. Amen.
The Antichrist is about to, he done showed up. There's no way this can go in any further than this. That was 74.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now gas is $4.59 for gas. You can get the water and gas for cheaper, but who would have thought? Pack of cigarettes, 75. I don't want none. I ain't paying no dollar because I know this way you try to do it. I ain't paying no dollar for a pack of cigarettes. 75 cents.
Yeah.
I quit smoking with cigarettes with the 75 cents on my own. I am not paying no 75 cents for a pack of cigarettes. Are y'all out y'all mind? Them things used to be a dime when mom was growing up.
Yeah.
A dime to 75 cents. Now they $5, $6, $7 a pack.
Yeah. $8.
And you smoke 2-3 packs a week.
Man.
Times 4.
Day, man, a day.
Yes.
I guess they hopeless. They can't stop smoking. But the point I'm making, it's been a progression. The greedier are getting greedier. Hey, look, they ain't gonna get sad. They're not gonna wake up one day and say, you know what? We got Kazillion, we don't need no more.
Yeah, we got it.
They get the thrill to see, can they be a Kazillion?
Yeah.
Can we create some more numbers of money? And it just goes on. These are the people he's talking about. They constantly withholding your wages. How many of you feel underpaid? Well, how many of you feel overworked? You paid all right, but you overworked. Feel abused. Just getting up to go to work is like abuse. Like, you know what? you should quit. Do something different. Statistics say you're going to wake up one morning on a Monday, get ready to go to work. And between 7:30 and 9 o'clock, you're going to have a heart attack and die. Most happen between 7:30 to 9 o'clock on Monday morning. Most people have their heart attacks. Because they done had a nice weekend like today, like we're going to have. We're having this today because someone said, let's have it today. Because we have it Monday. Everybody's mind is about going to work Monday, Tuesday. Let's enjoy it. Somebody's going to cut it short and say, look, I got to go to slave. I got to go to that place. I'm not that place about going. You need to maybe want to think about changing something. Those are signs that your rich ruler is withholding from you things that you believe you deserve. He says, therefore, you don't be friends with the world. They live for pleasure on earth and live luxurious life. And there ain't nothing wrong with this if you've taken care of God's business. But they do this at the expense of God's business, your business, and everyone else's business, because they're stealing from everybody to get what they want, because they're driven to fulfill their lust and desires. And God tells us that the mind set on the flesh is an enemy to God and can't do anything to please God, which brings us to our second principle. Those who serve money follow the course of this world. Luke 4, 1 through 13. Because it's a concept. This course of this world was established by Satan. And we'll find that concept in Luke 4, 1 through 13. The devil led him up to a high place and showed him in an instant all the kingdoms of the world. And he said to him, I will give you all the authority and splendor. It has been given to me, and I can give it to anyone I want to. If you worship me, it will all be yours. Jesus answered, it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only. For the world offers only a craving for physical pleasure, a craving for everything we see, and pride in our achievements and possessions. These are not from the Father, but are from this world, and this world is fading away along with everything that people crave. But anyone who does what pleases God will live forever. Satan made a very powerful statement. He says, all the kingdoms of the world and all their splendor was given to me. He says, because of that, I have the right to give it to whom I choose. Luke 4, 1 through 13. It's in there. One of them. Oh, they follow the course of the world. That's the principle. But like I said, you need to know how things work. And it started when Adam gave up authority to the world. He gave everything over to Satan. Satan has every right to it. And he can give it to whomever he pleases. He will give it to the one that will run his course for life. If you're willing to live Satan's course that he set to obtain wealth, riches, power, and authority, if you're willing to follow his principles that he has established in the world system and how to do these things, he said, if you will follow that course, I'll give it to you. And that's what you see happening around you. You will hear entertainers say they gave their soul over to the devil to be able to do certain things and be famous. You're finding people doing that in business and all other aspects of life. People are giving in to Satan's way to get it, and Satan allows them to have it. Yes. And we are programmed to idolize these people. Our celebrities, on all the shows they show on TV, is training you to think a certain way. attention to what you watch a lot. You'll find yourself creating those same environments in your own personal world. If you watch programs that's got a lot of chaos and conflict going on between people, and in these environments, people translate English words into their own meanings. You will say, man, it sure rained hard today. They translate to mean, this boy hate rain that God gives us. You know, it said it was raining a lot today. But you interpret that to mean the person hates rain. You create your own storyline because the things that you watch, that's what they do. The guy just came over to say hello because he likes you. But the storyline that you watch is, he likes her, she likes him. Watch, they're going to be going together. You know, when you see these pictures, they got a woman detective and a man detective waiting together. In the back of your mind, you say, you know what? They're headed somewhere. It won't be long before it happens. Because you've been programmed that man and a woman can't work together in a closed environment without that happening. That's why you must be careful when you're in those environments, because this will happen. Because you've been programmed to think like that. That's how you create toxic environments. You will have people saying things and believing things that they never said or do not believe. Because what you do programs how you think. If you are a mystery person, you like to watch mysteries and stuff like that, you're always looking for the clues. Let me pay attention. See, well, let me listen. What are they really saying? What are they really saying? I know what they said, but what are they really saying? That's Satan's word. Newsflash. They gave us language for a reason. Run really means run. I know he said run down to the store, but what do he really mean? What do you really mean by that? Run down to the store. He really didn't want to take me. He want me to run down to the store on my own. He don't want to take me to the store. He just run down to the store. The point I'm making is, Satan says, if you go his course, he'll give you what you want. And he has the right to do it. He ain't breaking no laws. He has the right to do it. And what I'm sharing with you is, you now have the right to repossess that. Not because you want your stuff, but because you want to fix it to be like God created it to be. A replica of the kingdom of heaven. That's why the Lord tells us, be careful how you listen. Check your heart. What are you really being motivated by? Do you really need more? Do you really need more? If you didn't get any more, would you, swivel up and just die and stop existing because you didn't get any more? Or would you learn how to really enjoy what you have? It's amazing how we can really enjoy something when we know it ain't no more.
Yeah.
When we got plenty of extra food in the house, we don't enjoy it. We just go through it like this. I ain't got to throw that away. But when you realize that there's a limit, each piece you get, you savor it. You don't get it when you don't want it. You ain't throwing away nothing. Because you're appreciating more what you have, because you know what? I need to savor this. I look at it differently. But you know, you just got plenty coming in. You ain't going to never run out. You'll have a half a cake here, or a half a soda there, or half a bottle of water there. But if you get thirsty around your house, you ain't going to allow no half a bottle of water to sit around. You're going to start issuing out water. You're going to start issuing out cakes. We When last time you had a cake? Yesterday. Now wait till tomorrow. You get one tomorrow. You don't think we eat cakes every day? What do you think this is? You savor it. You appreciate it. See, you're drinking soda from the last gallery. Not that I'm mad. I don't know how many half bottles of water I threw, but I was like, I was appalled. I ain't gonna drink it, but I can use it for something else. Yeah. My whole day was like, man, I gotta drink. I don't know why I ain't scared to drink it, but you know, well, you can use it for something. One of the flowers or something. See, you ain't thirsty when you drink water like that.
Yeah.
You just know you got it.
Yep. That's it.
Gosh, look, I can't trust you with a lot. You waste. You be just doing stuff that don't make sense. You ain't doing it because you need a while. I don't really like it. I'm going to do it tomorrow. God says, people that think like that, they're just about themselves. We should be consciously aware of the condition that the world is in. We should also be consciously aware that we can fix it. We can fix it. Now, I'll be around the house sometimes now, as I've had no kids at the house. Like sometimes you be walking, you knock something down, and you don't really, I get it later. And the dog like, look, ain't nobody else coming to pick that up.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Pick it up now while you right here beside it.
Exactly.
So you don't have to worry about coming back later, making a whole new trip later, come back. You hear stop right now, just pick it up. I find myself consciously being aware of that. You knock something down, you see kids went, hey, so that, pick that up right there and put it on the table for me. You got help. That thing ain't got cleaned up yet. Waiting on you, buddy. You see, God is waiting on you to fix this. You messed it up, fix it. You messed it up, fix it. Stop dreaming and daydreaming about what you're going to do for you. Take care of my stuff, and I'll make sure yours is taken care of. But if you ain't going to take care of my stuff, you're going to be taking care of your stuff till you leave here, and what you think you're taking care of it to do ain't going to happen. You're going to stay with this right here. We're going to listen to some music. Rich people that serve money. Are you in that list? And let's face it, we were born in that list now. We were born in that list. We couldn't wait to get out of poverty. But you know what? I'm going to go to school and get me some papers. I ain't eating something no more. I ain't doing something no more. I'm going to wear something moving forward. So that's not, we on a mission for me. I'm going to dress a certain way. I'm going to have more than one suit one day. And that suit going to be mine. More than one pair of shoes. That's a mission for me. Now we got to be saying, I want to make sure everybody has shoes. Everybody got more than one dress. I want to make sure everybody full like I'm full. I want to make sure everybody happy like I'm happy. That's got to be part of our plan. Let's get some music. You ain't go ahead and start. Let's get the Lord a hand praise.